Hi everyone, welcome to CSS course for complete beginners. I am Badr Wattar, a freelance full-stack web developer. In this video, we will take a look at CSS fundamentals. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe and you will never regret it. Before we start CSS course, this is the second topic we are covering about web development. So if you ended up here for any reason, check out the link in the description. There is an HTML course similar to this video, about 50 minutes long. That video is a prerequisite for this video, so go check out that one before you complete this one and having fun with me. So with that being said, CSS stands for Cascade Style Sheets, okay? And what CSS is used is for basically we style HTML files using the properties that we write in CSS. Now CSS is not the only way to style HTML, and HTML is not only styled with CSS. There are so many different ways, but this is the most common way for styling websites. What I want to mention in CSS that if you type something and change it after a while, then the new property will overwrite the old one. You will not get an error here, but it will be overwritten. So keep that in mind when you style things and you have long style sheet files. That thing might happen. And also CSS is more complex than HTML, so it will take much time to learn it, and it has lots of tricks. So you need more time to practice it and to master it. Okay, so in CSS, we target a specific, let me go to the next slide first. In CSS, we target specific HTML tags. Okay, so in this example, the targeted tag is the body, all right, and the properties are listed inside the brackets. Okay, so here is the code saying that we are selecting the body, okay, and we are setting the color to any color you want. So you have black, red, blue, white, any color you want. Okay, now here we not only specify the selector with the tags, we can target the things in HTML files using the classes and the IDs, okay? And we don't only have the color, we have background color, we have borders, we have margins, we have paddings, so we have lots of things. And the colors are not specified with this form only. We have much more than that and more complex things than that. And we will see everything in the tutorial. So see you there.
Hi guys, welcome to my desktop. So now let's create our folder that will contain our project. So let's go to the home and let's create a CSS underscore course. Okay, and let's open this up with Sublime, and we covered Sublime, or we choose Sublime in the HTML course, so you can use any text editor you want. Let's create here a new file and let's save it as index.html, and we have an HTML file. Let's add the magic here, which is the structure of our HTML5. All of these are covered in the HTML course, so go back and check it out if you don't understand anything for now. Now let's just make the title CSS course. Okay, and let's make an cute headline, h1, hello. Okay, and let's go to the folder and let's open this with our lovely browser, and we will find the hello. Now all of these things are covered in HTML course. What the new thing is the styling. We want to style this h1, and to do that, actually let's flip these over because I think it's better. Okay, so to style the hello, we have three approaches to do that thing. First, we have the inline, okay, and second, we have the thing that you style it inside this HTML file, and the third is the external. You make a CSS file and you put your styles there. Okay, so let's first try the inline styling. Let's add a style attribute, and inside here we want to add a color, red, and let's save this and refresh here, and we have a red color here. Okay, so imagine that we have multiple hello 1, hello 2, hello 3, oops, hello 3. Okay, all of these are red. uh, Imagine that the client said I want them to be blue, so you'll go here, blue, and you will go here also, blue, and you will go there also and type blue, and save and refresh, and you have a blue color now. This is a nightmare, okay, especially if you have multiple files and a lot of files has that H1 and the client decided to change that color. You will have a nightmare when you sleep, okay, believe me. So this is a disaster when you created big projects, and we can replace it with something much more simpler or much more easier for developers. I don't need that, okay. We can put our styles here, okay. We can say that I want the H1 to have a color of, let's make it green to see the difference, and let's remove these. Actually, do you remember that I told you that it will override it? If you can check here, the green color applied to these two things, and this style overridden this thing, so it's blue here. Okay, so make sure you remove all these styles. Okay, so now we have 3 green hellos. Okay, if we want them to be gray, if the client decided to make them gray, we can easily make them all gray. Okay, so this is the second approach for styling the HTML file. We have a third approach, which is creating here a new folder. Let's call it CSS, and I created a folder, so every styling sheet will be in that folder, so I will be organized. I know all the styles are in this folder. Let's call it style.css and I have here the style.css, and I can cut our styles from here and paste them here. Oops. Okay, and we have the H1 now. Let's color it for orange, okay, to make it update here. And here, if I refresh, it will be black because it have no effect on this HTML file. So I want to link this file to that file. To do that, I will type link and hit tab, and notice that we have the style sheet here. The rel is style sheet and the type is CSS. It's all by default, and you can change them if you are linking another thing. Okay, and the href is the path to that file, which is in CSS. I am here. Okay, I am in this file, so I want to go to the CSS, and inside the CSS I want to access the style.css. Okay, so css/style.css. If I save and refresh, I will have a cute orange color. Okay, these are the 3 approaches to style our HTML. Now I'm not going to use this approach because I don't want to go back and forth between the CSS and the HTML. I want to stay here, so I will remove this, and oops, and I will type here style, and I will remove I will use the second approach, which is having the styles in this. Okay, in this. All right. Okay, if I refresh here, I will have nothing updated, and if I typed here yellow, I will have a cute, oh my god, this is so bright. Okay, a cute yellow color. Okay, let's remove it. Actually, it's annoying. I didn't save, and okay, now these are the 3 approaches to style our style sheet. Now let's talk about the coloring and the units we use in coloring. You notice that if I wanted to color the styles or the text with yellow, I type yellow, and orange, I type orange, and so on and so forth. But there are more detailed and more customized units we can use. For example, let's get this back, and we have the H1 color, and we have here a yellow. Okay, I can use a hexadecimal values, and there's a long story to explain the hexadecimal values. Okay, but the basic of hexadecimal is you type a hashtag sign and you type 6 digits from 0 to F. Okay, to get a hexadecimal value for a color, go to Google and type color picker. Okay, that's how I work. Okay, I love Google. Now here I have the green. I can pick any level of the green. I want it to be that light, and I can find the hex value of the green, which is 6 digits. I can take it. Oops, I cut it. Okay, I took it, literally took it, and I will refresh, and I will have that green color. If I wanted a slightly darker, I can also get this. I will copy it this time. I can get this hexadecimal value and I can paste it here. I can refresh and I have that darker green. So I have more flexibility in terms of the green. In the text way, I only have a green or maybe light green or so on and so forth. But I don't have that much customized green that I wanted. I want a specific green to appear on the screen. Okay, now the third unit of coloring is the RGB, which is the red, green, blue. Okay, these are the three basic colors, and we can get the RGB values from the same page here. We can find here the three values for that green color. So if we copy this and we pass them inside here, so the red value is 51 and the green value is 255 and the blue value is 105. We will save this and we will refresh this. We will get the same value. So let's, for example, make this, maybe it will be lighter. No, it didn't change. So let's just, okay, that didn't change. It should change. Okay, we made it a bit lighter and took this RGB value and we will pass it in here and we will save and refresh and we got the lighter green. Okay, so these are the three approaches to color our elements in HTML. Okay, you will use it in each property that accepts a color. Okay, in this course I will not teach you the properties you can use. I will go in them, but not in detail. I will not go through all the properties. I will teach you how to use those properties. So if you want to color anything, you will use these three things. You have also the background color and the border color and a lot of things. So I will not go through these things, but if you want to color, use that approach, which is the RGB or the hexadecimal or the text approach. Okay, now let's move to the second thing. But before we move forward, I forgot to explain something which is very important. Here I am typing the H1, and this will target all the H1s in this page. Okay, so I don't want all the H1s to have the same styles. I want every one different from each other. So I can here have a class and I can type like heading or the first heading, first head. Okay, I will copy this and I will paste this, oh my god, paste this here and paste this here, and here is the second and here is the third. Okay, now if I refresh, nothing will happen. No, it will stay because it's targeting the H1, which is correct. But I want here to target the first only. Okay, so I will copy this, I will remove this and type dot and the class. Okay, remember, If you want to target a class, you type dot, then a class. Okay? If I save and I refresh, notice that I only targeted that class. Okay? Now I want to have multiple of these, and this is the second. Okay, and the background I want it to be a gray. Okay, and the third is blue. All right, now let's refresh and we will have this web page. Okay, so now we can target the classes and we can target the tags. There's a third way to target an element, which is the ID. We can replace this with an ID. Notice that it will not work for now because this is an ID and this is accepting a class. Okay, to target the ID, you replace the dot with a hashtag. Okay, save and refresh, and the blue color is back. Okay, so you can target the tag, you can target the class with the dot, you can target the ID with the hashtag. All right, we are doing so well. Now let's talk about very important topic, which is the display. I explained in the HTML course that we have an inline display and a block display. Let's go through it very quickly. Let's open this, and if you notice without opening the inspector that the background color took the whole line of the web page. Okay, and that's because the H1 is block display. Okay, and that's why all the H1 elements have different lines. What if I want them to be in the same line? I have to change the display property to inline. Okay, so let's do that. We will type display and we will type here inline. Notice that now nothing will happen because, okay, this is inline, but this is block. We have to type this in every class. Okay, notice that these are inline and this is block, and we will type this also. And we have 3 inlined H1s. Okay, so by default H1 is block, but we change it now to inline, and this is a useful thing. And also if we have for example a span, and the span is inline by default. Hello, let's see, it's an inline. I wanted to have a block display. We want to check this, it's inline, and this is inline. Okay, I want this to be in the new line, so let's give this a block display. Let's go here, span display, display block, and let's refresh, and it is in a new line. If we go to the inspector, and we can see that it took the whole line. All right, so that is it with the inline and block. Let's remove this, I don't like it. Okay, now let's talk about the second topic or second concept, which is spacing. Spacing in CSS has 3 things. Okay, and let's focus now at the corner here. We have this lovely diagram. This is the H1. If we clicked here, this is the H1 tag, and you can notice that here is the content. Okay, and here is something called the padding, which is the purple area, and around the element we have a border, and around that we have a margin. Okay, so the padding is the space between the border and the text itself or the element itself, and the margin is the space outside the border, so we can have other elements there. Okay, so now to do that, to start practicing that, we will first just remove the inline, it's deleted, and we will add a border. Okay, let's give it a 3 pixels and a solid and black. Okay, now we will find that this is a block again and it has a border. Okay, now I want to push it from the left. Notice that we have a little bit of area which is the default spacing of the body tag, and we can remove it by typing star and margin 0 and the padding 0. Okay. If we refresh now, we can find that it's stick to the border. Okay. Now, why is this? All right. Now, let's give this a margin from the left, which is the heading, the yellow, the green heading. Let's just remove these because yes, these are annoying. Okay. Now, let's give it a margin from the left, 30 pixels. Let's refresh. Okay, and let's give it a margin from the top, and let's give it a 60 pixels, and it's pushed down. Okay, now let's give it a margin from the right, $60 pixels also, and let's give it a margin bottom, oops, as a 30 pixels. Bottom. Okay, so now we have these spacings on the screen. Okay, or no, let's give it 30 and 60. No, I want them to be as left 30 and the top is 60 and the bottom is 60 and the right is 30 to be in the center. Okay, now this is too long. I can make it short because the right and left are the same. I can type it as a form that, let's take this and put this here. Okay, let's take this and put this here. Notice that top bottom are the same, left right are the same. So I can remove everything, okay, and type colon and type 60 30. This will give it to the top bottom, this will give it to the left right, and it will give the same result. Let's save. It will give the same result. Okay, what if I want a different values but in the same line? I don't want to specify everyone in 4 lines. This is the top, this is the right. Okay, we're starting top, right, bottom, left. So 60, 30, for example, 20, and this will not appear, and 10 pixels. Let's refresh, and it applied this to the top, right, bottom, left. Let's give this a 50, for example. It will be pushed from here more. Okay, so this is another way to type the margins, and that's it. These are the 3 ways of typing the margins. Same thing applies to the border. Now I typed border only, and it gave it to the all sides. And also I can type only here a 60, and it will give it a 60 from all the sides. Okay, so this is a border, and I can type here top, right, bottom, left, but I want the border to be applied to all the sides with the same values. Okay, same as here. And also let's try the padding. Padding 60. And let's refresh, and we will have a padding. Remember that the padding is between the border and the element, and the margin is from the border to the top or to the next element. And also we have a margin here. If we inspect this, notice that the yellow part is the margin. Okay, so we have a margin down there. Now this is the spacing attributes that we can, or the properties that we can target it with the CSS. Now let's talk about the units. We have so many different units. Let's just make this, let's remove the margins and the paddings. Okay, and let's have a blank heading 1, okay, with a border. Now I can make a width with 900 pixels, and it will give me a width with 900 pixels. Let's make it smaller to make it appear because 900 is so big. Let's make it 400 for example, and it will be 400 pixels. Okay, this width is 400 pixels. But if I move this there and there, it will be 400 pixels and it will never change. If it was, for example, a 600, okay, and let's make it 800, and I tried to do that, notice that it is ruined when it's opened with the phone because the phone is much smaller. Okay, so we can fix that by using a percentage. So I can give this element a width of 80%, for example, or 90%, or even 50%. Okay, so it took 80% of the screen, and it's always taking 80% of the screen, no matter what. Okay, so we have another unit that we can use to for spacing, and also we have another unit which is an EM and a REM, M and REM. There is so many or a lot of deep details in M and REM, but basically what they do is, let's say that the default font size. Let's target the font size. The default font size is 16 pixels. Okay, so when I give this element a 1M and refresh, this will get a 16 pixels. Okay, and I can give it a 216 pixels. Okay, 2 multiplied by 1, which is I think the default of heading 1. Let me make sure how to comment this. Okay, this is the default. Okay, which is the 2 EMs. Okay, I can give it also a 3 EM, which is 3 16s and 4 16s and so on and so forth. And this is so useful because you can make a specific spacing for your, or specific sizing for your website. So you can, if you want to change everything and make everything bigger, you only have to target the default font size and change it, and all of them will follow up with that because these are ratios. They are not units and specific numbers. Okay, so this is a ratio. It's multiplied 6 by 6, 16. Okay, so this becomes very useful when you are developing with you want to change the font size in the future. Okay, so these are the most used spacing units. Let's now move on to the next topic, which is I want to add a background color. Let's create a div here. I removed everything. Okay, I want to make a div here. Okay, and I want to add a class back img. Okay, let's grab an image from Google. Background. Oh, cool. Okay. Let's grab this. I see pixels. I don't want it to be blank, actually. I want something with many. Okay, this is cool. And let's copy the location of the URL. I want to get the URL. I can download it, but for now, let's just use the link. And let's go to the, let's remove all of these. I don't want them. And let's add the class back img. And let's target the background image and type URL and pass this URL. And I want to specify the width with 300 pixels. What's the width? Okay, it's so big. Cool. Because I'm afraid that if it's so big, we'll have a little bit of problem. But now, let's make this 300 pixels, and this will have a 500 pixels. Okay, let's go back and refresh, and we got our lovely picture, but it's a part of it because this is so big. Okay, so that's how you make a background color, and you can type here whatever you want. You can, for example, the p tag, lorem, it will be ugly. Lorem. Okay, and I want to, let's refresh and see what we will have. We will have this text. Let's make it this. All right, and let's just p color white. And we will have a really cool thing here. Okay, so it's a useful thing to have background colors in your websites. Now, we will talk about the next concept, which is positioning. Okay, and positioning is very useful and mostly used. Let's change this to hello, for example, and I want this to be h2. Okay, h2. Now we have this h2, and I want to push this. I want to have a margin of 100 pixels from everywhere. Okay, so it has a 100 pixels from everywhere. In CSS, we have the following positioning. We have a static, okay, and we have a relative, and we have an absolute, and we have the fixed. Okay, so let's first talk about the static. The static is the default positioning for all the elements. Okay, now if we want to move this element relatively to this div, okay, I don't want to push this from the top of this element. I wanted to push it from this element. Okay, to do that, let's just first, I will make a mistake now. Okay, let's positioning this an absolute, and I will push it from the top 20 pixels. Okay, if I refresh, it's gone, but it's not gone, it's here. Okay, it's white. Let's make it black. Black. It's here, but it's pushed from the top of the HTML or from the body. Okay, I want to push it from here, so we can change this position to relative, and with that you will find that the element is pushed inside that div. So I'm pushing this relatively from this div. Okay, and this is so useful in terms if you don't want this element to go outside of this div, it will always be inside this div. This is so useful in that case. Now let's talk about the third positioning, which is the fixed. Actually, let's just get rid of this back image. Let's comment this, and let's style a nav bar. Okay, and I want this to have a nav, which is a nav bar, and I will not have anything inside it, and I will have a background color of pink. I don't know why did I use the pink. Okay, now where is it? I don't have a width, and okay, let's have the width and the height, because it's not here. Okay, the width is 100%. That's what happens when you style and when you code when you are sleepy. Let's give it a 50 pixels height. Okay, so it's here. All right, now I want to have this positioning as fixed, and let's for example say that I have here a very long paragraph. Okay, this is not efficient. Okay, let's just type an h1. Oh my god, what am I doing? Lorem. Why am I keep doing that? Lorem. My god. Okay. notice that it's up there. Okay, the fixed is like it's at the top of it, but that's not what I want to mention. What I want to mention is, look at that. The nav bar is going with you. Okay, this is fixed here. If you remove the fixed from here, notice that it will have the 50 pixels and this is pushed here and it will not go with you. But here you are having the fixed and it's going wherever you want. Okay? Oh my god, this is horrible. What am I doing? Alright, let's remove this and let's just clean this up. Now, we are going to talk about the floating. Okay? So for example, if I have a box 1, and I have here a, oh my god, box 2, okay, and I want to have them, for example, this is the box 1, and this guy is the box 2, and this will be black. Pink and black are awesome. Okay, what happened? Okay, all of them are fixed. So let's remove these and we will have them at the top of each other. Okay? Now, I want them to be in the same line, but without using the inline property. Okay, I want them to float. Now I will say here float and I will say left. Okay? And I will like give the width of this. If I give it at 100, it will not be good, or it will not work, even if I did here, because all of them are 100%, but I want this to be, for example, 30%, and this to be, for example, 80 or 70%. Also, the math is horrible. Okay, so notice that this took 30% and this took 70%. I want this to be smaller. Let's make it 50%. They are floating to the left. I want this to go to the right. This went to the right. Okay, there's a point here that if this is a 80%, okay, and it has to, I didn't refresh, I didn't save, and I want this to float to the left, and 70%. Oh my god, what's wrong with me? Okay, so this is 30% and this is 70%, which is 100%. Now, if I wanted to add a border here, border 3 pixels, let's make it bigger, and solid. We have here a solid, dotted, dashed, and so many attributes we can use, and let's make it black. Let's make it gray. Okay, and refresh. Oh my god, this is bad. Now, how to fix that? We fix it by adding the border box sizing, border box. Okay. And what this did is it took this 3 pixels and added it to the 30%. Okay, it didn't add any pixels to here. This black div went down here because it has to be 70% and it doesn't have any much space left. So what it did, that it went down there, okay, because we added 3 pixels here. But with this, the 3 pixels are from, or are counted within the 30%. Okay, so that's how you float your elements, right, left, and so on and so forth. Okay, now let's talk about very good concept in CSS, which is inheriting. I don't know how to call it in CSS, but in general, you give some specific attributes for the childs of the divs. Let's stop talking and work on it. Now, imagine that I have here a box 1. Let's remove the floating, or let's keep it, but I want to remove the, make it smaller and move it right. Okay, now, and let's make it 200 pixels, 200 pixels. Where is it? Float right, 200 pixels. Okay, here it is. Now, let's just add something to both of the divs, which is a p tag. Hello, there. Okay, and let's also add it in the other one. It will not appear here because it's black, and let's p is just color this with different color, gray. Okay, so here it is, and here it is. Okay, so I want the p tags, all of the p tags. Let's imagine that I have a bunch of these. I want all of these to be white, but I want this to still black. Okay, if I typed p tag, okay, color white, it will affect all the p tags in the HTML file. Okay, and that's not what I want. I can specify every p tag with a class, but this is not really efficient. But I can use something called, not inheritance, but it's an inheritance. Okay, I am going from the box 1, which is the pink, and space, and p, and open and closing. Let's remove this. So what I'm saying now that I want the p tags inside the box 1, and let's specify the color white. What's wrong with me? Now if I refresh, notice that these are white and this is black. Okay, and I can also type another thing here, box 2p, color green, not green. Okay, notice that this is green and these are white. Oops, and these are white. Now, what I have also, I can type this, and that will, what this will do, that I am targeting the direct childs of the box 1. Imagine that I have another div, okay, and inside that div I have a p tag, hi. This will be black, and that's why is the arrow thing, or the closing arrow, or the bigger than, greater than sign, is targeting the direct childs of the box 1. If I remove this, oops, it will have, or it will give that property to all the p tags inside the box. But with this sign, I'm giving this property to the direct childs of the box 1. Okay, and also I can specify multiple, like for example I want to have this as this in the styling, so I can type box 1 comma box 2. Okay, we forgot to type this, and I will remove this. No, don't want to type here. I will type it here, and I will remove all of these. I will comment them out, and notice that the two boxes will have the same styling, because I'm styling the box 1 and the box 2 and with the same styling. Okay, so I can type here box 1, box 2, and those spacings, and I can say here I remove the float, and after that I say box 1 float left, okay, and box 2 float right. Okay, so all of these are applied to box 1 and 2, and in addition to box 1 add this, and in addition to box 2 add this. Notice that we are not overriding here or overwriting. We are not doing that because we are not specifying or we are not specifying the same property. Let's, for example, copy this and make this black. Notice that it will override that one, okay? Because it overwritten the same property that are typed here. Let's put it gray to see the text. Why am I keep clicking on the home button? Okay, so that is it with the CSS. I hope everything is clear. If you have any questions, comment down below and I will try hard to explain everything to you guys.
Okay, I think this is the end of this video, guys. I really enjoyed making this stuff for you, preparing the slides and preparing the content to show you how to use CSS. If you did enjoy it and if you did take anything useful from this video, subscribe. Next video or next week, I'm going to upload a video about JavaScript fundamentals, similar to the HTML one and similar to this one also. It will be a short video. It will not take long. We will cover only the basics. I will do my best to upload a video a week to not cut the YouTube and stay consistent to the channel. I really enjoyed. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening and staying for here until now. And see you in the next one. Bye.